What is good, R&B squad? This is Heart of Ruth. This is a late word because I've had so much that I needed to get to today. And I planned on putting out the word a lot earlier, but better late than never, right? So I trust that this word meets you guys in good spirits. Happy belated International Women's Day to all of my subscribers and to all women everywhere. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's get right into this word. This is a word that had me pretty excited. And again, before I put the word out, guys, eat the meat and spit out the bone. Everything is not going to be for everybody, but get in where you fit in, okay? For some people, this word is going to be astoundingly accurate. You're going to know it's for you from the get-go. And there was a sister in Christ with whom I spoke. I did a coaching session with her recently. And sis, this is just a reminder that this word, you're one of those people that this word is specifically for, okay? So I had this dream. And it started out not as a dream, but as me simply closing my eyes. I was getting ready for bed. I just shut my eyes for a moment. And I saw all of these rainbow colors. I just saw these rainbow colors flash across my vision, and then I opened my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, I said, wow, rainbow. That's the first thought that came to my mind. And as you all know, a rainbow or rainbows are a representation of God's promises. It's a reminder that God is going to keep his promises. When I eventually fell asleep, then I had this dream. And this dream was, guys, this thing looked so real. It was almost as if I felt when I woke up, it was almost like I was surprised that it didn't actually happen in real life. That's how real it felt. Everything just looked like it would have in actual reality. This is how I know that this is going to come to pass very quickly for someone. So in the dream, there was this gentleman. And he was working on something. He was building something all by himself. He didn't have any help. He was just busy trying to build this thing. And it looked like it was some sort of platform that he was trying to build. Some sort of two-story platform or something. But the emphasis here is that this guy was trying to do this by himself. And he was succeeding. But of course, because he was doing it by himself, it was taking some time for him to be able to do that. Okay? And this may be significant for someone, so pay attention. This guy who was doing the building, I don't know how many of you guys have seen The Wood. There's a movie called The Wood, and there's a guy called Stacy in it. He looked just like Stacy from The Wood, so I don't know if that's significant to somebody, but he looked like Stacy, okay? And this guy who looked like Stacy, I could tell that he was someone's significant other. He was someone's kingdom spouse in the dream. And I was just watching him. It was almost like he couldn't see me, but I could see him. And I was just watching this guy building and building. And man, he was so intense. He worked with a dogged determination. It's like he had a deadline in mind and he wanted to meet that deadline, and he was working tirelessly, relentlessly. And I remember looking at him and feeling sorry for him. And I was like, man, don't you want to take a break? Don't you want to just get some water, maybe eat something? Have you eaten? And I'm thinking this stuff, but this guy, it's as if all that's driving him and the only thing that's keeping him going is getting this thing built, getting this thing done. And I had the understanding, even though he could not see me, I had the understanding that he was building this for this woman. He was building it for his significant other, for his kingdom spouse. And I remember he finished, and when he finished, it was nightfall. And there were a bunch of people around. And one of the people happened to be this female whom I know in waking life is not, she is someone whom I considered like a sister before in waking life. But the Lord had to separate her and I because of the fact that her and me, because of the fact that she didn't mean well. And in the dream, this girl was just there. This woman was there, and she was standing not too far away. And this is symbolic for someone. And I'll explain a little bit later as we get further into the dream. Now, all of these people were gathered at the foot of what looked like this sort of balcony or rooftop. Do you know those places, those hotels where you have like a rooftop seating area and people sit there and they have dinner or whatever the case may be? It was something like that. And it was round in shape. And there were all of these, it was white, and there were all of these lights. I remember looking at it and thinking, oh, this is so pretty. Look at all the lights. But part of that was what the guy built. So the part that he was standing on, he built that part, and the part that everybody else, including his significant other, were standing on, he also built that. Okay? And I remember standing there, and my first thought was, is this ground below our feet going to hold up? I remember thinking that, and it's as if I wasn't the only one who felt nervous about that. It seemed as though his person felt nervous about it as well. Like this floor felt shaky, or in our minds, we thought that the floor would not hold up beneath us because of the fact that it was just freshly built, that this guy had just finished this thing. So we were like, okay, are we going to be able to, is this going to hold our weight or what? But while we were doing that, this guy, he seemed to have no fear whatsoever for that possibility that the floor wouldn't hold up or whatever the case might be. He climbs to the top of this balcony area. And while he's on top there, he calls a bunch of cheerleaders out. And they're like the cheerleaders that, at a basketball game. Right, so they're like these cheerleaders at a basketball game. And this may be significant for someone. Maybe you or your person, maybe you're into basketball. Maybe you're a basketball fan. Or maybe you were a cheerleader at some point. But either way, this guy gets on top of this balcony and he brings out these cheerleaders, and they have all these letters in their hands. You know the letters that cheerleaders carry when they're spelling something out? Right, he had all these letters in his hand. They had all these letters in their hand. And they started cheering and chanting, and they had the letters, and the letters spelled out this woman's name. And I don't think that I saw exactly what the name was, but they spelled this woman's name out with the letters. And then they spelled out the letters, "Will you marry me?" And there were all of these people there. And some of the people that were there were like, wow, this is so beautiful. He's proposing to her. And then there were others who were just like, nah. I wish I didn't have to see this. And one of the people who was like that was actually that woman that I mentioned earlier. That woman who in waking life I know is not someone that God wants in my life anymore. She was there, and she was one of the people who was like, yeah. And I did not stay long enough to see if the woman accepted the proposal or not. All I know is that in my heart, I was like, wow, this guy put in all this effort and he worked so hard, and like, wow, I really hope that she said yes. I remember thinking that. And then there is this other part to the dream. There's a part 2 to this. But before I go into part 2 of the dream, I just want to explain part 1 to you guys, because there's a word to accompany that, and I want to interpret the dream for you. So for whoever this is for, the reason why your person has not come forward yet, the reason why he has not, and for you, it might be someone who's separated currently from their kingdom spouse. You guys are waiting on reconciliation. You're waiting for him to come back to you, or you're waiting for her to come back to you. Or it could be that you are a person who has not yet met your kingdom spouse, and you're about to meet this person. Now, there's a reason why you haven't met this person yet. And if you're in a situation where you need to reconcile, there's a reason why you and this person have not reconciled yet. It's because this person, the Lord has already quickened him or her in the spirit. And they are planning things out. They are getting things ready. They are preparing things in order to come to you. Because when they come to you, they want to come correct. They want to wow you. They don't want to just come with any old thing. And for someone who is about to reconcile, this person is planning a proposal. That is what the holdup is. They're trying to perfect this proposal. And there was an emphasis on this guy building this stuff with his own 2 hands. Okay, so whoever this guy is, sis, your person isn't, the reason why it's taking him longer than usual is because he doesn't have any help. He doesn't have any support from anyone. There is nobody else who's in on this. he probably doesn't, his family probably doesn't even know that he's planning on proposing to you. And that might be for reasons that we'll discuss in another word. But this guy has no assistance. He's doing this thing out of love. You should have seen the way this guy worked tirelessly. And you could tell that he was working, it was all for this woman. So this man, he is working his finger to the bone overtime from daylight into nightfall to make sure that he has this thing, this proposal, this home, everything perfect for you before he comes to you. So sis, have a little grace, show him a little grace, and have a little bit of patience because he's working on it. The way I saw that man working, he is working on it, okay? And the other thing is that concern about the floor not being able to hold up under us when he was finished building it. For whoever you are, when he comes to you, because of the fact that it took so long for you to meet the person that you're meant to marry, or if you're waiting for reconciliation, because it took so long for you guys to reconcile, in your mind you're going to be thinking, I wonder if this is going to last. I wonder if he's going to disappear. I wonder if we're going to break up. Sweetie, no, this is permanent. When he comes back this time, if you're waiting on reconciliation, or sis, if you're waiting for your kingdom spouse, you're waiting to meet your kingdom spouse, or bro, if you're waiting to meet your kingdom spouse, when he or she comes, it is going to be forever. It is going to be permanent. Okay? And that woman that kept lurking in the background, for whoever this is for, there is someone in your life. They're either a relative or they're someone that was like a relative to you at a point, someone who was close enough to you to be considered a relative at a point. And this person does not mean well. The Lord has already laid it in your spirit that this person does not mean well. But yet still, you have this person around you. This person you need to get rid of that person because that person does not want to see you. You should have seen her face. You should have seen her face when she saw that guy proposing to that woman. This person may very well be jealous of you. This person does not want to see you settled. So you need to keep away from this person. And when things start happening for you, you need to make sure that this person isn't there. But in any case, this man proposed in front of this woman. It didn't matter who was there. So that's another thing. The Lord is going to prepare a table in the presence of your enemies. They're going to be there to see you guys. They're going to see this love, and there's nothing that they're going to be able to do about it. So I'm going to come back with part 2 of this word because this went on a little bit long, so I have to cut it into 2. And I'll be back with part 2 real soon. Sit tight, guys.